Diamonds on my wrist when I step up on a diamond, 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 diamonds on my wrist when I step up on
Hey yo, we are back live. Freight Coach Morning Show coming to you live every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10:30 Central, to talk about the truth of this industry, to continue to break down top industry headlines and everything else. I got my main man here, Adam Wingfield. He is the one representing the 97% of this industry that is small business on the trucking side, 20 trucks or less. So Adam, do a quick intro, and then I got to give a shout out to all my sponsors who help make this shit possible.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, my guy, man. My name is Adam Wingfield with Innovative Logistics Group. As Chris says, you eloquently said, I represent the 97%. I'm for the small guy. I'm for the people that are actually in the trenches every single day, moving freight with less than 20 trucks. I've got 22 years of experience in the industry, and I apply that to help mentor folks to make sure that they're doing the right things to stay in business.
Absolutely, man. That's why I love it. That's why I have him here. That's why he was here with me at the TIA last week as well. But before we jump in, I got to give a shout out to my friends over at Bitfreighter. They are on a mission to connect the logistics industry with a flat fee for EDI messaging. Carriers and brokers alike, you are costing yourself business by not having a digital option to accept tenders from your customers. With their managed EDI platform, it is no longer an expensive and unattainable option for companies who may not have a legacy TMS to utilize for their day-to-day operations. Bitfreighter's managed EDI platform is fully integrated with TMS providers like PCS Software, DAT Keypoint, Revenova, and EasyLoader to provide a seamless transition for all your EDI needs. This levels the playing field for your organization and makes you EDI compliant with your customers through automation. If your customers are requiring you to have EDI capabilities, you now have a seamless and effective tool to utilize in Bitfreighter. If you're ready to learn more, visit www.bitfreighter.com to request a demo today. Just do me a favor, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. They're also integrated with other TMS platforms as well, so check that out. Bitfreighter's a longtime supporter, as well as my new friends over at VHub. You guys, again, they're out here with their asset reutilization platform. It's the wave of the future in freight. It helps not only the trucking companies out there, but it helps brokers as well to provide the one thing that every shipper wants. That's assets, right? I've never had a trucking or a shipper ever say, I need you to drop a truck. They always need trailers. This gives you that option through their pool. So check them out over at vhubapp.com. Again, let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. That's my housekeeping orders for today. Because again, like all of this is possible from that. And then also from everybody out there who watches this stuff. The support that you guys show is, I can't put it into words, how much it means to me and everything else. But we got some stuff to break down today, Adam. So here's what I started a couple of days ago. I know this has been going on for a long time, but this is day 3 in the industry on the Freight Coach Morning Show, that there is still a truck parking issue that is out there in this industry. And then this is also day 3 of the fact that there are still shippers and facilities out there who don't let drivers use their bathrooms. So I'm going to continuously bring this up every fucking day on the show until there's some change and until something like that happens. Because again, I think that as a whole, as an industry, and this is, something that me and you have aligned on a lot, is conversations like this hasn't happened. Like, some shippers are shocked that there are other facilities out there that don't have this stuff. You know what I mean? So again, it's bringing this awareness out there.
No, you hit a great point. And it's like, people just go about their day to day, they book freight and don't realize, they take for granted to the fact that at work, when they're booking freight, they can go use the bathroom, or if they go, to a gas station or something like that, they can use the bathroom. But I think it's just so appalling with some of the conditions that you see as shippers and receivers. It's not that the fact that you can't use the bathroom, it's the hideous conditions that they won't even allow you on their facilities to get water or do anything else, but they want you to back up your 53-foot truck full of freight with hundreds of thousands of dollars of merchandise or whatever it may be, but they don't even want you to let you use facilities. And I think that right there is to me, it's asinine, it's ridiculous, it's repulsive, and something needs to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I got to give a shout out to my friend Trucking with V out in the audience today. Dude, this is what I love the most, man, is I'm getting more and more trucking companies who are coming on and participating in this. And that's what I love more than anything, coming from, I am from a family of truck drivers, even though I was a broker that all you guys don't really like all the time. But, I like seeing it, because that's just what's needed so much right now. And especially with this market turning into what it's going to turn into, like, dude, like this is the time. And I challenged everybody about this on Monday when I did my first live show, man. We need to be the change that we want in this industry, straight up. We can't look and pass the buck to anybody else. If we want change, we need to hold ourselves accountable and to higher standards. And that goes for brokers, carriers, and shippers alike. If we want change, it's got to start with us. Like, what can we control, you know?
And I think that, you know what, the thing about that is that it's got to be, we got to stop doing this and start putting action behind it. Like you said, the awareness piece is great. We have to put the awareness out there, but people have to commit to action. You know, carriers have to commit to action, whatever that may look like in terms of the actual identifying whatever issue that is. As carriers, they get the brunt of all of the residual shit that people have, you know, that kind of gets dumped on.
Yeah.
But like, you know, me and you were just talking about it, man. It's just, you know, I think brokers need to get a little bit more aggressive with their approaches as well and represent the carrier better. I get it. You know, I get it. When you have a shipper, you're a bona fide agent of that shipper. But being that intermediary, that man in the middle, you kind of be the moderator between the two to make sure that everything happens smooth. And you can't tell me that, hey, you know what? It's cool that you're going to treat your drivers to the fact that they're going to go to a shipper and they can't even use a bathroom. Come on now. I think that's not cool, man. That's just not cool. And every dollar at some point, like it's going to start with the mega carriers, right? You know, you got to have JB Hunt, Schneider, and Werner to pull out of a facility that's not going to treat their drivers that way. And then all of a sudden you're going to have them scrambling for capacity. But you know what? Something's got to give, though, man. Something's got to give.
No, I agree with that, man. I agree with that. And then, you know, especially it's almost like, you know, the way that I see it with a lot of the brokers that are out there too, you know, there's a lot of brokers. Yeah, sorry, somebody just put a comment out there.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm not going to put that up there on the ticker, but yeah, you know, again, Raul, I get it. There's a lot of stuff out there that happens, but you know, this is where I think that an accountability thing is going to go a very long way in holding people to higher standards. And then, you know, same thing, man. And I say this all the time. If you're a carrier and you're working with a broker who's not holding up their end of the bargain, fucking get rid of them. There's plenty of brokers out there who do the right thing, you know? And I just think that we've accepted less for so long. We've accepted the fact that, oh, this is just the way this industry is. And that's just not the case. You know what I mean? We need to be that change.
I totally agree. And, you know, the thing is that, you know, I would love to see those conversations, those onboarding conversations when a broker, you know, connects with a new shipper and you go through a questionnaire and you ask them basic questions like, hey, you know, do you have a driver lounge? Do you offer this? Do you offer that? Do you have truck parking available? And if these folks say no to these things, do you just say, oh, okay, check the box and keep going? And he's like, hold on, guys. You know, this is something that we have to have. We have to have access to facilities. Our drivers have to have access to facilities. Our drivers need safe places to park. This is just part of the deal. I can move your capacity, but you got to take care of my damn drivers at the same time. Because if not, you're going to have to find another broker to be able to handle a business. And that's where it has to start. But there's a lot of brokers out there that are afraid to get out there and tell it like it is and actually be the truth between the two. And that's where I think some of that change has to begin is our broker friends, which, you know, it's been cat and mouse the entire time, but we got to work together on this. Cause now that as the pendulum is shifting in a direction where the broker and the carrier is starting to lose control. And we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any of us want to lose control. You know, like we all need to put our you know, our swords down. As my friend Robert Bain said, just because somebody put you in the ER for the last year doesn't mean you got to look to put them in the fucking morgue. You know, like it's that simple. Like we gotta legitimately put our best foot forwards here. Shout out to people in the audience. Alex Brown, what's up? Stephen Peterson, he's in here today, and Luis Claudio, what's going on? Raul, I want to put you. You know, I'll give a shout out to you, man. I'm just not going to put that up there on the ticker, but I understand what you mean. Yeah, look at that. Here's a shipper right there. He's never once had a broker or carrier ask me about facilities. So again, we want
needs to be part of the conversation, though. It needs to be part of the conversation. It's got to be a requirement. Like just like you want to know what the address is, you want to know, hey, what does dock doors look like? This is stuff you got to ask exactly. You got to ask those things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because the thing is that as a broker, one of your primary goals is to secure capacity for your clients. 100%. Yeah, 100% secure capacity, right? At any means necessary. That's a rating. That securement of capacity is your measure of success for customer service, right? If you do not offer the basic things and go to bat for your capacity, then you'll lose that. So if it's just kind of like the picture that I shared with you today. I think Doomer put it on his LinkedIn where, hey, you know what? Don't come in here if you don't have a pen. What kind of shit is that? Like, really? Like, come on, guys. You know?
Yeah, dude, that's exactly it. Xavier, what's going on? Xavier Campos. All right. So let's get into a couple of headlines. We'll save some time here at the end.
Let's go.
I'm going to talk about the first one, which was put out by FreightWaves, is written by Craig Fuller. What causes the booms and busts of this trucking cycle? And, you know, my initial thought, like, hey, there's some good information in there. I think, like, from an outsider's perspective who's trying to understand the industry a little bit more, it provides, you know, some pretty solid information. What my big thing is under the piece about understanding the driver shortage and what it really means. That, you know, when you know, this is verbatim. All right. I'm just reading it straight up off of this here. A great deal has been written about the driver shortage. When capacity is tight, nearly everyone blames the driver shortages as the reason. That's easy because it's the big thing for most people to grasp. After all, in order for the freight to move, drivers must be available to drive a truck. The freight market doesn't hire drivers, fleets do. The freight market can only have a capacity shortage, but never a driver shortage. If you own a fleet, you hire drivers to ensure that you can operate the trucks you have purchased. At times, you have more trucks than you have drivers. It's fair to say that the case the fleet has a driver shortage. Owner-operators don't hire drivers. The owner is also the driver. If the owner operated a driver shortage, he would simply be out of business or shut down. Capacity tightens not because there aren't enough drivers, but rather that there isn't enough dispatchable capacity in the market. So that's where I think that there's a contradiction, because I personally feel that driver shortage and capacity tightening are kind of one and the same, because if you don't have the product to operate the machine, which is the driver, therefore that's a driver shortage, in my opinion. You know, if that is.
I agree. I didn't mean to cut you off. I agree. Yeah. However, if there's some inaccuracy in some of this article, because first, if you remember last year, a lot of these capacity issues weren't necessarily solely driven on just not being able to put a driver in a truck. It was the availability of trailers, number one, and the skyrocketing prices of tractors. So you didn't have new tractors available to put out on the road. So now all of a sudden your used tractor market skyrocketed. So when you have that used tractor market skyrocketing from a $40,000 tractor 2 years ago to a $100,000 tractor, now you're positioning people in a place where they can't afford to be able to get out there and put that capacity on the road. I get it. I don't think that, and I've always said, I don't think that there's a driver shortage issue. I think there's a retention issue, period. You just, that's the issue. We're not taking care of our drivers. We're putting these stupid ass signs up in front of facilities, and we're not we're having shippers that don't allow you to use the restroom. So we're running our drivers off. We're running off the good drivers, and we're not taking care of them. I feel like it's not a shortage issue that drives, and they always point, anytime there's an issue, and you know this, anytime that the market swings in a day issue, they always want to point to the driver shortage. It's because of the driver shortage, because it's easiest, the sexy way to answer the question.
Yep. No, absolutely, man. And again, I would check it out. I'm trying to do my thing on citing all my sources. It was the article written by Craig Fuller over at FreightWaves. Again, there's a lot of good information in there, but, you know, there are pieces of it to me that, you know, to Adam's point right there. Again, check it out. Do your research out there. It's a big thing. You know, I had a friend of mine because I put some stuff out there a couple weeks ago about how I felt like 90% of the brokers out there don't know what it costs to run a truck. And that is one of those things that I feel like is pretty entry-level information that we should have a general idea of it. But then I also challenged them to say that, and Adam, we've talked about this. There's a lot of companies out there that don't even know what it costs to run their truck. So a friend of mine, I hope he doesn't mind me citing him here, but he did a breakdown for me. He surveyed 25 different trucking companies for me with 20 trucks or less. It's my friend, Thank God for Trucking. If you're not connected with him, connect with him, man. He's a good guy out there. So just on average, fuel on a 400-mile run costs $320. The driver pay for those 14 hours, this is a per day number, you guys, by the way. Let me break that down. This is a per day number. It's $490. The daily payment, $75. Daily trailer payment, $65. Daily insurance, $50. Back office, $25. Maintenance, $100. Total average with no profits, $1,125. That's to break even every single day
just to move a truck.
just to move
One
a truck,
day.
break
Just,
zero profit.
just break even, no profit. Hey, I'm just moving a truck just to move along. And I love that. And then in the back of my mind, I love hearing, oh, that's all I got in the load. Oh, that's all I'm getting in on the load. It is so expensive to move a tractor in 2022 up and down the highway. And it doesn't, and again, like you said, it doesn't include profit, right? But it doesn't also include those incidental things that happen. Whether you have to handle a blowout or a mechanical failure, that's just on average. That's on average. And the thing about it is just that, and I get it, and I'll say this wholeheartedly understanding. I know it's not a broker's business to know, right? Because you are a bona fide shipper agent. So maybe it's not your business to know. But I think to our point in the beginning of the conversation, it's time to pivot the mindset. It's time for us to work together to make the industry better for us all. And the more that you know from that standpoint, then you can understand why this carrier can't sit here and be detained for 6.5 hours at a shipper. You can understand that. Wait, you know what? I get it. It's South Florida, but dollar mile freight coming out of there is not going to cut it. We have to change the mindset by providing more education, and stats like that only make it more and more important to get the information out to the masses.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the thing, is because, again, you're right. Like, as a broker, it's none of my concern. All right. It's none of my concern up front, but it should be my concern. And again, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that brokers, you need to ask for their fucking P&L statement or anything like that. But it's like, how do we work together long term? Because, like, one of my, and I know that this has been overplayed a lot over these last couple of weeks, but the fact of the matter is, I do not want to see any trucks leave this market at all. I want to keep people in business. You come from a working class family, Adam. I come from a working class family. We're living our American dream. You're helping your clients live their American dream. We got to keep people in fucking business and keep them profitable. So it's information like this that needs to be said, because, here's the thing. Again, 97%, now I will literally say this every fucking day if I have to, 97% of the trucks on the road are 20 trucks or less. Small business, 97%. And, and that's the thing, is it's like, how do we help and collectively come together to help keep people in business? This is what I love about, like, what you do, man, and helping carriers, A, know their costs, but B, find the most profitable lanes for the year, not just the one that pays the highest rate per mile on this day.
And another thing too is that we've been really over the last month been really harping on making sure we secure broker relationships and focusing on dedicated freight, because you cannot win as a carrier by just scaling your business on the spot market. I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. There is no way that you can do it in terms of successfully and sustainable success from the spot market. You have got to get out here and build relationships. You got to be out here and start securing your own dedicated freight as possible. And you just got to be smart about the decisions that you make in business and learn how to run a business first before you just jump out there, because these are $100,000, $200,000 investments that can go sideways quick. I didn't see families get turned around. I didn't see people lose houses. I didn't see people lose it all because they're trying to chase that American dream. And I'm so passionate about it. That's why I'm so passionate about helping the folks out there, because, like I said on the panel, if Schneider closed its doors tomorrow, the spot market wouldn't change hardly a bit. Wouldn't even notice the difference. But if the 97% of all of these small folks, and one of the crazy stats, and I'm gonna give this to you, and then we'll move on. Since the peak of the pandemic, right, June 2020, we've registered over 176,000 new motor carrier MCs, right? Revocations in the last month, right? Just 1 month. In the last month, there were over 5,700 authority revocations in the last month. People that have gone out of business. So we just took 5,700 companies, whether they're one truck or 20 trucks, and we just wiped them off of the face of the industry. That's where the problem's lying, and that's where we got to make sure we provide more education and teach people how to manage their businesses better.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why what you and your team at Innovative Logistics is doing is so imperative to the success of this industry. It truly is, man, because again, it's like bringing this information out there to the little guy, that mom and pop style operation. Hell, let's be honest. If you're less than 1,000 trucks, you're a mom and pop style trucking company. Like, let's be real. And it's just like the brokers that are out there too, man. Like, again, like this small business, like, dude, this is literally the backbone of the U.S. economy is small business. We can't have small business go away. I'm all about making money. I'm all about doing the right thing and doing all that. But we collectively have to keep people in business, you know? And like, so our second article today, and we're probably only going to get to 2 today, and that's fine. I kind of figured as much because Adam and I just we could talk for hours about everything.
Hours.
This comes from NBC News. It's very obvious that I'm not the biggest fan of mainstream media that's out here. And you know, like, it was a good piece. I will start. It was a good piece. It was for small trucking companies. The high price of diesel may be unsustainable. I'm in survival mode right now. One Michigan trucking company owner said. So I actually found a Facebook thread on this. This guy got shredded on there. This guy got the author of this article got absolutely shredded for fear mongering. And you know, because like, that's the thing is, man. And here's what, like, I think the biggest thing that pissed me off the most, and I don't talk politics on the show unless it's directly related to trucking, but the fact of the matter is this: fuel prices were raising a lot fucking longer before Russia invaded Ukraine. Let's call it what it is. Let's not blame that invasion on where fuel prices are today. I will put this up there right now for you guys to check out the national average for diesel fuel prices. The website is here. Give me, my mind works faster than I can type. It's www.eia.gov. Check it out, you guys. That is where the national average for diesel prices is listed out there. It shows a rolling increase over the last 12 months. We all know when that invasion happened. So this shit was going on a lot longer than that. And again, the fear in here that it's causing for people to fucking shut their trucking companies down, essentially. That's what I don't like. And then furthermore, it's like, this is what I love the most. The people who are responding, like the author who's responding, like, oh, I care about, you don't care about the trucking companies, because this is the first time or very few times that you've actually fucking reported on this. So you can't sit here and proclaim that you're Robin Hood. You're not. You're far fucking from it.
Well, so you know what's funny about that too is that if you look at the very bottom of the article, they cited where they had to make a correction, and then I'm going to tell you now they're going to have to make another correction because I found something else in this article that was inaccurate. So it stated word for word, and I'm going to read it out. It said small trucking companies, often referred to as owner-operators, right? Owner-operators is single person driver truck, right? Sometimes they're not able to negotiate a fuel surcharge that would allow them to pass along the rise in fuel costs to a shipper's freight bill. That's false. 100%. That's false. But then even secondly, I'm going to go down to the paragraph right below it. It says, on average, small trucking companies buy 80,000 gallons of diesel fuel each year, right? But if you go back, it says small trucking companies often referred to as owner operators. That means one truck. One truck doesn't buy 80,000 gallons of diesel fuel a year. One truck will buy between 14 to 17,000 gallons of diesel fuel per year, right? So that's an inaccuracy. And what that is that's a scare tactic saying, hey, you know what? You're going to have to buy 80,000 gallons of diesel fuel this year. You can look at your calculator and you can wait a minute, I'm going to spend $230,000 on diesel fuel. My truck's going to cost, I'm going to be in $500,000 in this thing upside down before I even get started. I hate this part of the article because it's so inaccurate for the numbers is concerned. You know, I'm a numbers guy. And then immediately it says it's definitely going to affect some owner operators and smaller carriers. I agree that rates and fuel prices and things will have an effect. But why don't we talk about the things that need to be done to help offset those things below in the supporting part of the article? This article is meant, it's clickbait. So it's straight up, it's clickbait, and it sucks. Yeah, it does. It sucks.
Yeah, and of course they're, one of the guys who they're like a carrier that's considering downsizing out of Baltimore. He has 4 trucks right now and employs 4 drivers, and that he woke up wondering if he was going to be able to make payroll this week. Like, again, man, why don't I get the realities of this? And hell, as somebody who's doing media and all this other shit, I get the clickbait perspective, but it's why I don't do it, because that doesn't help anybody. If anybody, it instills fear in others, and I can't fucking have that happen anymore. That is literally, articles like this are literally the driving reason behind why I am doing this show every single day. Straight up, because I think we need to stop with that bullshit that mainstream media is notorious for, and have people reporting on this who actually have worked in the industry, who can actually provide insight into this stuff, instead of a journalist who, again, I'm not knocking anybody's profession, who doesn't even know what a fucking fifth wheel is. Why are they reporting on this shit?
You know what the thing is that, again, I think that it's clicks, it's generated by clicks. But what worries me is that this type of stuff also gets reposted on social media. It gets, and once it gets driven out in that, for that standpoint, it's gone too far gone conclusion. But I think most importantly for me, and I can only speak for me, when he stated that, okay, you got this small company with 4 trucks in Baltimore going out of business, and they were considering, shutting all the trucks down because you can't make payroll. I'm gonna be honest with you, that didn't just start, right?
Yeah.
If you got 4 trucks and all of a sudden now you can't figure out why you can't make payroll now, that didn't just happen over the last month or two. This was going on from the very, very beginning, from the decisions that person made a long time ago. What about those decisions that they put? Let's get the full facts of the story, because I'm gonna tell you what, you're not gonna just wake up one day and decide, hey, it's time to shut things down just because of what I'm seeing at the pump. These are things that
Yeah.
have been going on for a while. You're gonna know that's coming.
No, absolutely, man. And I think like it's one of those situations that I think people need to stop playing the market and actually play for the long term, the long game. Because again,
Exactly.
markets are cyclical. They are going to happen every single year, but you can. This is something I work with my clients on. Like your job is to keep your carriers and your customers off the spot market. They just want consistency in all of this. And if you think for 5 seconds that there aren't shippers out there who are literally looking to essentially reassess who their providers are when this market shifts, like you better hope you're on that list of people who've done right by them and did your job. And again, I'm never going to say don't make money, but I'm a capitalist at heart. I enjoy making money, but I believe in responsible capitalism because I believe in making money for the next 12 years, not the next 12 fucking minutes. And that's the transactional mindset brokers find themselves in a lot, and they need to remove that from their head. And even probably some carriers out there too. They're like, oh, that load pays $7 a mile. I'm going to go there. Oh, well, it goes into fucking rural New Mexico and it's going to be an 800-mile deadhead out to get a load that pays $2 a mile.
Well, I mean, that's what the thing about it is that, call a spade a spade. A lot of the carriers out here they don't have the tools. They don't know the market. They just expect, okay, if I'm going here, I get 7 going here, and they're going to expect the same coming backwards. If you don't understand it, if you don't use tools, if you don't understand where lane dynamics are, you don't understand capacity dynamics, then you're going to make decisions like that. And most of the times, it's the small carriers that are the ones that stuck with those decision making because they don't invest in the information. They don't know how to resource that information, or best yet, hire a coach that can point you in the right direction. But I think that
Yeah.
the most important thing of what you said is that everybody's chasing that big number, right? But you don't ever hear anybody chasing the small number, the net profit, because at the end of the day, you can gross $14,000, $15,000 a week per truck, and it doesn't impress me one bit, especially if you're spending 12,000, 13,000 a week in expenses. So it's all
Yeah.
about the bottom line. Do a lot better in teaching that.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It's fucking, it's just insane, man. And again, I just think that, because it's like, I also think about this. Like, I understand publicly traded companies and, the fact, like, could you imagine the shippers out there that just got royally fucked by one of these publicly traded companies for the last 12
Yeah.
months, record profits and everything else. And now they're going to be crying to them about the market shifting and how they need to,
Yep.
I
Yep.
just, yeah, it's, I don't know, man. I understand how that all works and stuff like that, but it's crazy, man. I think that there's an awakening that is going to come up there. But again, the whole point of a lot of this is, like we got to think about moving forward. For my friend Michelle LeBlanc, she's great, love her. Typically, journalists speak with people working in the field in order to write the content, not contesting that it is clickbait. But I think there's a huge value in a neutral party talking to multiple sources and then writing on a larger trend in addition to individuals producing content about their own experiences. I could go on a whole other rant about the impact on clickbait and chase revenue on media, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, I mean, I agree, Michelle. She's on point with that one as well. And again, it is like I think that sometimes an unbiased third party position is definitely needed in a lot of this stuff. And again, I just think that my thing with a lot of stuff that I see is it's the lack of solution. It's the lack of solution that's in there of how do we fix this? How do we continue to do that? And I know that's like what a lot of what I say could be perceived as unpopular out there, but I'm looking for a solution to move this industry forward. I don't want to have people and again, everybody's going to perceive articles and content in their own right. But I think that there's a very clear narrative on when people put the gasoline on the fire, but then don't watch the coals burn out because they don't care. They just want to keep reigniting that fire. Did I lose you, Adam? Are we? Uh-oh. I think my stuff all froze up.
Froze up there a little.
Yeah, hold on a sec. Did I freeze up again?
Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
I'm good now. All right.
Yeah.
See, I'm figuring all this stuff out as I go, you guys.
It's all good, man.
I'm trying.
You know,
I'm
and
trying.
I like what Michelle just said. You know that they love the doom and gloom. You know, and the thing is that when you talk about positive stories, and even a story like this, man, it could. Why didn't we talk about the cycles in trucking, right? You know, you think about that. You're talking about the doom and gloom that's coming, but let's talk about how it cycles back and forth, because this is just like economy with anything else. It ebbs and flows, but more importantly as well, making sure that you give the solutions. But I get it, solutions are not cool. It's a whole lot sexier to bring out all the negativity, and I get that.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It truly is. It's man, it's. I know we're up on time. Adam's got a flight to catch. If you guys did, Adam's actually at the airport right now. This is how dedicated he is to all of this stuff. He's at the airport right now. I know we're a little bit over today, but Adam, I'm hoping he can come back on as a recurring guest. And again, truck drivers, trucking companies alike, shippers, hell, anybody. Come on. This is a platform for all of us to better this industry. This is not geared towards one or the other. We got to make the change if we want change. Straight up. That's the way it's got to be. Adam, how can anybody reach out to you?
You can reach out to me on my website, www.thetruckingconsultants.com. I'm also here on LinkedIn, obviously, at Adam L. Wingfield. Follow us on Instagram at Innovative Logistics Group, and you can also follow us on Facebook at Innovative Logistics Group.
Absolutely. I love it. Thank you guys all so much for tuning in. Thanks for all the audience engagement today. This was great. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you. Shout out to my friends over at Bitfreighter. If you're looking for an EDI option out there, check them out, www.bitfreighter.com. And also my friends at VHub as well. Check them out. They're here to help. I appreciate you guys all so much. I got to somehow figure out a way to end this live stream without, since my computer's literally froze right now. Man. So I'm going to, if Adam removes himself from this, I'll find a way to get it all done. I appreciate you guys all so much for the support, and we'll be talking to you guys soon.
Thanks, Chris. Keep on doing what you're doing, man.
Absolutely. We'll see you.
Take care.